And good morning. Welcome to the Out and About Show. Focus on Stafford County today on 1590 KVGB. Our chance once again to talk about all the great things taking place in Stafford County. We have a couple guests with us today, joining us as, well, they're the regulars, I guess, which is okay. Carolyn Dunn, Stafford County Economic Development Director, in studio with us today. Good morning, Carolyn.
Good morning.
And wearing her Wichita State Shocker gear today, because she is a Shocker graduate of Wichita State University, is Program Director for Stafford County Economic Development, Sydney Blanton.
Morning.
Really glad you made it today.
Me too.
You look so nice in that Shocker shirt. Congratulations, by the way.
Thank you.
It was a really miserable Sunday.
It was a great day.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure it was. Guys, thanks for being here today, because I know that we've got a lot of things to talk about on the program today. And where do you want to start? Do you want to go to number 2 here on the list today, or?
Yeah, one of the things we were wanting to talk about is some of the work that we've been doing with the Chamber of Commerce in Stafford. In the last month, we've spent some time as a chamber group going through some strategic planning. In particular, back in February, we had a whole afternoon. We spent over 4 hours together with an outside facilitator. It was Holly Lofton from Lindsborg, who brought a lot of nice energy and fresh perspective to the conversation. But through the day, we talked about branding, learning about that, having a conversation via Skype with some people in Lindsborg that had developed what they called an ad hoc committee as a way to kind of get a more broad group of people around the community involved in improving things. And that was some nice inspiration, nice food for thought. We spent the afternoon kind of assessing Stafford's strengths, ideas for improvement, and defined the top needs and goals for the community. We considered maybe how the work of the chamber can align with those needs and goals in the coming year. And the top 4 things we decided to focus on are community and citizen involvement, beautifying the city, downtown revitalization, and really fostering a can-do attitude.
Was this the first time you guys got together, really, or had this been a process that's been going on for a while?
Well, this was kind of the first time for a while. I mean, I think a lot of groups go through this every so often, but as far as the Stafford Chamber in particular, I think it'd been maybe a while since this had last been done. It kind of coincides nicely, though, that the city of Stafford has also been doing that, and it was kind of a good time to align a lot of these goals, try to minimize the duplication out there, and really maybe come to some consensus on what we really overall want to focus most on. And I think that idea of beautifying the city, downtown revitalization, community and citizen involvement, all that's very consistent with what the city of Stafford was also finding in some of their work.
You always make strategic plans, and of course, I guess it's like making goals. You say, okay, well, I want to be the president of the United States. Well, you really don't follow it up with an action plan on how to get there. Yeah. But brainstorming is good to put these down, and then I guess the next thing is to tie it in. Okay, here's what we need to do to get to these goals that we have put down.
Well, right, and we have one thing in particular that we're doing right now that stemmed from that, I think. Traditionally, there's been a chamber banquet, and, I think the consensus was it's been good, but it's kind of, as things do, they kind of run their course. And what can we do that will get more people in the community involved, bring some new energy, new ideas, and still kind of serve that purpose of chamber fundraiser, things that gives us the resources to continue working on things through the year. And what we've decided to do is to bring the Peterson Farm Brothers in, the YouTube sensation, to come in and get everybody excited about rural advocacy. They're really good at that, and we thought that it would be an event that would just be really fitting right now.
I think one of the main things with this event is our banquet in the past years has been our main fundraiser, and it's just been dwindling in participation. And so I think this year is really the time to be our transition year for change. Since we did our strategic planning meeting, we're kind of transitioning into doing new things. So this event is one of those things, doing something that's not our norm, but a little bit different.
And this is going to take place on May 2nd?
It is May 2nd at the Ritz Theater in Stafford. Tickets are available from Economic Development. If you want to call us or visit our website, they're also available from Prairie Bank of Kansas, Paul's Grocery, and Friends Crafts and Flowers, all in Stafford. Tickets are $20 for an adult and $15 for a student. Under 6 are free. So we know there's a lot of little kids even that enjoy watching the videos and might enjoy coming and meeting them. But, you know, the idea of rural advocacy, becoming more engaged and involved in the environment that we live in is something that I think will all, it's just point on for where we are right now.
We see a lot of groups, chamber groups. I know there's just a fantastic young professionals group that's just grown leaps and bounds here in Barton County because they do a lot of things in the community, but it's also a fun group to be part of. Mm-hmm. And I guess that's kind of the chamber changing this up just a little bit, make it a fun event. I mean, that's everyone wants to get involved, but you don't want to work all the time. You want to have fun.
Right. Mm-hmm. We have the FFA club in, or I shouldn't say club, FFA chapter in Stafford is also going to help us with promoting the event. And it's just fun to get some of the high school kids involved in a different way. Mm-hmm. The Seed Center has always been a bit involved with the chamber, and they're also helping promote this. So I think that's healthy.
I think it fits. One of our goals is to, get youth connected to our community. And so when they grow up, they have those memories and they want to come back to our community because we got them involved in the first place. So that's key too.
Don't you think you have more momentum than a lot of places do just with the involvement with the young entrepreneurs? You guys got a head start in Stafford County. You've been doing this for a while.
I hope so. I think more and more I see opportunities that we can capitalize on, and I hope we're just, we're, like you said, a little bit ahead. I hope more and more growth is coming.
Okay, we're going to take a break here on Focus on Stafford County today. We'll be back with more Sydney Blanton, Program Director for Stafford County EcoDevo, and Carolyn Dunn, Economic Development Director, with us here on the show on 1590 KVGB.
Yeah, it happens about 11:30. That moment you realize the ham sandwich you made for lunch is sitting next to the open jar of mayonnaise, now at a warm 73 degrees, on your counter at home. Need a fast lunch backup plan? Check GreatBendPost.com for lunch specials today. You'll always find daily specials from restaurants all over town. They're freshly updated every day, so you'll be able to have something different if you want. Sure beats a warm ham sandwich. It's Great Bend Eats in the menu section of GreatBendPost.com.
The Central Kansas Spring Expo is all about saving you money. And here at the Steeder Contractors booth, we're excited to visit with you and see how much money you can save. Save $1,000 on spas, up to $1,300 cash back on Lennox Heating and Air, $400 off Prolux bathroom makeover and walk-in tubs, and sign up for $50,000 cash from EcoWater. Talk to the experts at Steeders and take advantage of our lowest prices of the year during the Central Kansas Spring Expo, March 28th and 29th at the Great Bend Expo Complex.
Welcome back. It's Focus on Stafford County today on 1590 KVGB, and we'll save 2B for the end. Is that okay?
That's fine.
Is that fine?
Maybe I can just cover this news up and it won't really happen.
We've got a very special announcement coming up here live on the program today as Carolyn Dunn and Sydney Blanton, who's decked out in her Wichita State Shockers shirt. They play tonight 6:15 on CBS tonight, taking on Notre Dame, as Sydney Blanton and the sports chick continue to exchange harsh glares through the screen because she's a big Notre Dame fan. So I just want you to know that, Sydney. She takes that stuff pretty serious. But, Carol, let's go ahead and talk about, and we touched on that. We had a news story on this right the week after you had your public meeting for the Port Authority. And this was a big event. Citizens who attended getting more information on the Port Authority of Stafford County that continues to, I'm not going to say it's a slow process because that's a process that it's set up to do. I mean, that's the way it is. But tell me about the meeting, how it went, and where you guys go from here.
We did have our, it is, like you said, a process that's set up to not necessarily be efficient or expedient, but to ensure that the public is supportive of what's happening. And it gives, plenty of opportunity for input into the process, and that's healthy. We had our public meeting explaining what our plan for development is, which is very purpose-oriented right now. No opposition, so we proceed with the idea of trying to find actual locations to put the port, which will trigger another process of public comment. We're also making application to KDOT for money that could be used as seed funding for this, the initial funding to acquire property and so forth. So we don't know how that will turn out. It's an application process, but this is what we're doing to try to continue to make this work. There's probably 2 other grant opportunities ahead also that might build on that. And
I've had
it
people
takes several
ask,
factors
I've had
together.
people ask me, Port Authority. Well, it's kind of like an industrial park, but it's not an industrial park, but
Right.
it's a location for commerce and things like that.
This is how I see it being able to be a catalyst for business in our area. Well, okay, in our part of the world, grain is a fundamental business. So you got to kind of look to what you have as being kind of the anchor for this type of development. So let's say a grain loading facility. We see them around the state. In fact, Barton County's got one coming in where you build a loop of track and outload 100 cars at a time. That's a major investment, and we might be more successful in being able to incent that kind of investment in Stafford County if the private company doesn't have to take on the full extent of investment in that infrastructure. So the port can assume the cost of that rail infrastructure. The private company spends the money it takes to build out the bins and all of the things that are required for their business. We can maybe land that business in Stafford County in a way that we wouldn't have without the port. We've reduced the overall expenditure required for that business to establish itself. But the other benefit of this is that loop of track then becomes a public thing that we can use to build out other business as well. It's not just one business, it can be many businesses that lease access to that track. In particular, I think that one of the things that we're looking for being able to develop here is the ability to load intermodal containers. There's no location in the western part of the state that has that ability to become an intermodal port. A lot of traffic from here that does go intermodal goes to Kansas City by truck and gets on a train and probably comes right back through our part of the state going to Los Angeles. So, in fact, KDOT right now is looking at ways that we can expand the infrastructure in the state of intermodal loading facilities. That would fit very well with our Port Authority concept. And then there's several businesses around here that might benefit from the better rates of rail, but they don't have enough volume to themselves build a spur. You have a public, though, access point, and a lot of those businesses can get on and have the benefit of the improved transportation efficiency. It's a part of helping our businesses be more competitive and thrive.
Burlington Northern Santa Fe, that's the one that comes through the St. John, right?
That's correct.
All the way to Los Angeles, right?
Correct.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Which way does it go to the east?
Oh,
A long ways. But I mean, has anyone had any contact with the railroad?
Sure.
Really?
Sure.
You can get a hold of somebody at the railroad anytime soon. That's really good. I'm impressed. Just that. So
well, sure. They're a business that wants to grow too, and they want to see that certain requirements are met, that the track is, the loop track is designed in a way that meets.
So
their
they don't
needs.
come in and build it themselves.
They're probably going to have a say in how it's done, but
the cost associated with building rail in a loop or a loading facility type thing would be. It would
be right. I think it would, in our case, probably a combination of several federal and state grants that provide the basics of it in conjunction with some private investment too. One of the ways that the railroads often do support this, though, is that they will extend a better rate. You basically kind of get a rebate for using the track by preferential rates from the railroad over a specified period of time.
I know that you were urging any interested businesses or people that want to find out more about this to contact you, and they can do that just by calling Stafford County EcoDevo.
That's correct. Our phone number is 620-549-3527. And I've actually had some calls from businesses here in the region that have heard about this on the radio, and each time that I can establish that there would be a business that could be interested in this, that improves our chances of making this work.
You mentioned that you can draw out the port portion as, what is the port portion?
Oh, I can talk about this on your program as long as you want to talk.
I didn't know if that... Okay, I'm just reading my notes here, but I saw the port portion. Is this part of the process?
This is the portion of the program where Carolyn can ramble and ramble and ramble if you'll let her.
Oh, okay, all right. So that's what that means. Okay. What's the interest from KDOT on this? It's one of those ones where they kind of scratch their head and their head.
I don't know.
Really, that's an interesting concept.
Well, I hope they'll see benefit in this over other locations. No doubt, there's other locations around the state that are going to make their case too. So we'll just put forth the best application we can and go from there. Is this something that you build it and they will come, or they kind of need to come before we build it? We kind of need to go hand in hand.
Okay.
And I think that there's business that, if this is here, that might be enough to make them say, yeah, this is what we want to do. This is a better location than somewhere else in Nebraska, for example.
Anytime you want to do something that is innovative like this, that can really do some great things, I would imagine, well, yeah, when Christopher Columbus, he wanted to get on his butt, and they said, no, you can't do that. The world's flat. You can't do that. There's always going to be the world is flat people out there. So, and they've got some questions. I mean, what are some of those questions maybe that you hear that you just want to say, well, no, this.
Well,
you've answered a lot of them, Carolyn, over the last 2 years with this.
I don't know that I've had people say, no, this is a bad idea, but they'll say, I just don't know what a port is.
Sure.
And so we'll talk through that. I had one person tell me that they thought it was the concept of a port of entry, so that we might be like inspecting goods that come into the border of Stafford County, and that's not it. So I think it's just a matter of talking through with people just what a port is, and it basically is just your public access point to a mode of transportation infrastructure, in our case, railroad.
Sydney, this started kind of when you came on board. It's been probably an exciting process just to be part of and to watch this thing.
Yeah, it's been great. I actually was thinking back, I can't believe it's already been a few years since.
How long has it been?
Well, me with the organization, it's been about a year and 8 months.
Okay, all right.
So probably the same time working on the Port Authority stuff. And I remember going through the conversations with Carolyn thinking, should I start on this? Should I start looking into this? What do you think? And can't believe it's already gotten so far.
Wow, it is. It's 11:54 here on 1590 KVGB. We'll take a quick break. We've got that very, 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 very important announcement to make coming up right after this.
Are you struggling with addiction or alcohol problems? If you're depressed, drinking, and using drugs, you may need help, and your insurance may offer coverage.
I knew I could get myself out of this. I just needed some hope and some help. I took the first step to recovery when I made the call.
Call the Addiction, Hope, and Helpline now for a free assessment with someone who cares. Call 800-515-1780. 800-515-1780.
I feel like I'm losing control. I'm afraid I'll lose my job or even my family.
Call now for hope and help with proven, gentle recovery programs.
I never thought that I could be somebody who didn't drink and use drugs.
I'm in recovery, getting the help I need.
Call the Addiction, Hope, and Helpline now for a free assessment with someone who cares. Call 800-515-1780. 800-515-1780.
1590 KVGB is your home for all the news in Central Kansas.
The drugs and alcohol are a problem. It doesn't cause domestic violence, it doesn't cause sexual assault, it doesn't cause child abuse, but it does inhibit people's ability to control themselves. It creates, and some of the cases that we have seen that have been so extreme have been because of the drugs that are in the system.
KVGB News is brought to you by Abby's Best Buy Carpet Outlets, Tilton Associates, Marmy Ford, Marmy Chrysler, Keller Real Estate, and Nicholson, Ricky, and Bryant Funeral Homes.
Back on Focus on Stafford County, Carolyn Dunn and Sydney Blanton with me for just a few more minutes here today. Tell me, intern position open at the Kansas Water Office, Carolyn.
Yeah, that was, we don't have summer interns in our area just all the time, so I wanted to talk about one particular opportunity that I think sounds like a really nice opportunity for a college student. It is with the Kansas Water Office. They can find out more information by calling the Water Office at 620-234-5311. They could probably also direct you to a website that's got a longer, I'm not going to try to replicate it here, but what the person would be doing is to help with field work and possibly assisting with field inspections, which is a step in the certification of water rights. They're looking for someone with computer and office skills who could also be support for other staff doing that kind of work. And they thought that a person with a science or agriculture-related degree would be fitting, although they would also consider people with other interests.
Okay.
So good summer opportunity for someone in Stafford, Kansas.
When you hire good people, bad thing is they end up leaving. If you hire somebody who's not very good, then they stick around for a long, long time. That's the case. Sydney Blanton, congratulations, Sydney, the new Chamber of Commerce director in Larned. That is really, really cool. How do you feel about that, Carolyn?
Oh, well, it's bittersweet. Of course, I'm joking here about maybe if we don't talk about it, it won't happen. But I'm very proud of Sydney. She's, I'm just tickled that she's got this opportunity. I'm going to miss her greatly, but I'm glad that she's going to be in the county next door.
How do you feel about that? Congratulations, Sydney.
I feel bittersweet about it, too. I'm really excited for the move, but it's going to be really sad because Stafford County has been my home for 2 years, and I really enjoyed getting to know the people and the community, and I'm definitely next door and a phone call away, so...
That kind of makes sense with, regionalization. That's really pretty good. When you get somebody who works, let me see, Stafford County and Pawnee County, they're pretty
We're
close
neighbors.
together.
Right.
So what excites you the most about going to Larned and becoming the Chamber of Commerce director there?
Well, I'm really just excited about being the lead role and just getting to use all my ideas for another community. But I'm also, something that I always mention is I'm really excited about working with Stafford County, and that I hope we can continue with this relationship and work regionally to better both communities.
Yeah, I think so. When do you start over there?
Monday. Very soon.
So it's you're just. Don't you give her any vacation time? She's got it crewed up, or did she already take that all the way?
I'm going to blame that on the board over in Larned that they need her right away.
They need you right away. Okay. Very good. Well, we will be working with you a lot. Maybe Focus on Larned comes back, but it will not replace Focus on Stafford County.
I told you guys don't get any bright ideas about pushing me out.
No. You're locked in, Carolyn. Appreciate that. And Sydney will be working with you a lot more. Again, congratulations. You need to ditch that shirt, okay? I don't know. I've got some good KU stuff around here you can wear. Look.
Not after tonight's game. I'm going to be wearing it proud tomorrow.
Yeah, okay. And wear it proud on Saturday, too. Carolyn, thanks for joining us. Keep up the good work, and we'll be talking to you next month, okay?
Thank you, Steve.
Your show's here, so okay. Stay tuned. News coming up next on the Mighty 1590 KVGB.